Thank you for mentioning that.
You bet.
Okay. All right. Why don't we go ahead and get started, Ryan, and I'll.
All right. Sounds good. So I am going to be kind of demoing the entire app from beginning to end. So it usually takes just under an hour. So why don't we hold off on any questions until the end, and once we've gone through everything, I'll be happy to take any questions that the group might have. Okay, sound fair?
Sounds
All
great.
right. 1 minute here. I'm going to display the phone screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So I'm just going to go straight into the app. As those of you who have been using it will know, it's the icon in the upper left, the blue square with the white plus sign in it. So I've already logged in, and I'm not going to spend too much time going through how to get the app or log in, but basically, because I assume most people on this call have used it, but if you haven't, all you do is go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, search for Lifevantage, and it'll be the first app that pops up. And once you, hey, Clint, can you go ahead and mute your phone as well? I'm getting a little feedback.
Okay, absolutely.
No problem. That's better. Okay, so once you open up the app, you'll log in with your Lifevantage ID as the username and your Lifevantage password as the password, and then you'll be taken here. This is what we refer to as the deck. So this is the main, what we call user interface of the app, and it's made to look and act like a deck of cards. This is kind of the area where we envision you spending most of your time when you're using the app. The deck of cards is designed to kind of always let you know what to do next in your business. So the way that they work basically is you swipe up to get to the next card, you swipe to get to the previous card. And when you first log in, everybody will be dealt the same hand, so to speak. And what they are is this introductory video from Darren. The next card is a training video, 10 in motion. So this card wants you to watch it. The next card is telling you to add contacts. So everybody gets the same hand initially. It's 11 cards. The mix between these training videos and cards that are prompting you to add contacts, because adding contacts is what really gives the app legs. A couple of things about cards in general. Each card will have a green button on it. And this one, it says, okay. Sometimes it will say continue or watch or do it. And this is the button that you'll tap to take the action that the card is suggesting. Sorry. So this card is telling you to add health conscious contacts. If you tap OK, you'll be taken to the screen to add contacts. Each card also has a snooze button on it. If you tap the snooze button, you have options. The first option being, I'll do this later. That acts just like you'd expect a snooze function to. The card will disappear and it will reappear in 24 hours in your deck. If you select, I don't want to do this, or I already did this, there's a subtle difference between those two settings, but for the sake of this demo, I'm not going to go into them. There's not much that you would notice on the user's end, but if you select either one of those, basically what happens is the card will disappear and it won't come back in the deck. If you select cancel at the end, the snooze option goes away and you're taken back to the card. Another thing about cards is you see at the bottom here where it says how to add health conscious content.
I never buy pizza there. Like, it's a well-known chain.
Oh yeah, it'll be okay. Kids
Sorry?
like pizza.
Yeah.
Does somebody need to mute their phone maybe? There we go. So at the bottom where it says how to add health conscious contacts, that's what we call a helper text link. If if you tap on that, up will appear a short video that will tell you exactly what's going on there in the app. So this is kind of like a always present, or at least often present, kind of lifeline to you throughout the app. So these blue text lines are sprinkled throughout the app. If you ever see them and you have questions about why the card is asking you to do something or how to do something specific, tap on that and a short, like 1 to 2 minute video will appear that should fill you right in. So that's kind of the explanation of cards. Let's go straight to adding a contact. So if I select OK here, this is next screen is telling me that I've added 0 out of the 5 health conscious contacts that the app wants me to add. Other cards like this will tell you to add business minded contacts or supporter contacts. And what we're trying to get you to do is start a list of prospects in the app. So again, if I tap add contact, I have 2 options here. The first one is import from contacts. Now, if I select that, it will add a contact. It will copy it over from the address book on my phone. Now, if for those of you who have been using the app, you'll notice that you can only do this one contact at a time. And we've intentionally designed it that way. We don't want people adding all of their contacts in one, with one tap of a button, creating these massive contact lists, and then being able to message everybody very easily. That would be considered spam, and it gives the app and the users a bad name. So this app is really designed to be much more of a mindful, deliberate way of communicating with people. So you can copy them from your phone book on your device, but you have to do that one at a time. The other option is to do it manually, and that will we'll actually do that option now because I don't have Clint's phone number stored in my phone. So let's select add manually, and then Clint, if you could jump on real quick and just tell me your mobile number so I can add you.
Sure. 702
Yes.
273
Okay.
8426.
8426. I'm just going to put in a fake email address for you for the sake of this demo to be fast here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So once you go to add a contact, and if you were to say import from contacts, you would just select Clint from your phone contact list, and you'd come to this screen again. Clint, do you mind tapping mute again, please?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. All right. So once you add the name, the first, last name, and the phone number and email address, it's important to note you don't have to have both phone number and email. You can add just one or the other if that's all you have. But if you add 2, you're going to get this option where it says send messages to. The way that the app chooses how to communicate with somebody is done right here. So if I select mobile, which is already selected, then any message I send from the app will go via text. If I select email below it, any message I send to him will go via email. Now, you can change this at any point by editing the contact details for Clint, or you can also change this when you're creating a message. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. But the reason we do this is because we assume that most people like to be consistently communicated with in the same manner. So if Clint prefers text, we think we found it's likely going to be rare that he wants an email instead. Of course, there may be cases. So again, you can do that, and I'll get to that in a bit. For now, I'm going to say Clint prefers text. This next section, interest level, is very important. So when you open interest level, you have these 5 options. Now, depending on which one you set for a contact, the app is going to behave differently. And it's going to ask you to do different things in regards to that contact. So, for example, if I were to add Clint here and say that he's ready to enroll, I'll get a new card in my deck saying, hey, Clint is ready to enroll. Let's share an enrollment link with him. If I were to say he's ready to purchase, a card would appear in the deck that says, Clint is ready to purchase. Let's fill out a cart and share it with him. If I were to say that he's the third option in the middle there, interested but not ready yet, I would get a card in my deck that says, Clint is interested in learning more. Let's share a video with him. We assume that this is the bulk of contacts added to the app are going to fall into this category, meaning they're interested, they want to learn more, they're not quite ready to enroll or purchase yet, but they're interested in learning more. So again, if you have somebody under that setting, it's going to prompt you to share a video with them. By default, we assume that they're interested in the business or the opportunity. So the video that it's going to share with them or suggest you share with them is the new animated opportunity video. And because it's the default, if you were to select no interest level at all, so you didn't even deal with that section, it would assume that they're interested but not ready yet. The app would. The bottom two options, not interested now and not interested at all. Both of these put it on a kind of a back burner for a different period of time. Not interested right now is a period of several weeks. Not interested at all puts them on the back burner for a couple of months. And what that means is it stores the contact, but it won't issue any cards telling you how to follow up with them. It'll send you a card in a couple of weeks or in a month or a couple of months, depending on which one you set, prompting you to follow up with them, check in with them, and maybe see if their interest has changed. So that's interest level. I'm going to say Clint is interested but not ready yet. Now below that, in that box where it says show advanced info, if you select that, you get a few more options. The first is type. Now this is strictly optional. It's not mandatory. Some people like to organize contacts into these different categories, whether somebody is health conscious or business minded or supporter contact. That just helps you as the user stay organized.
Hey, Ryan, I'm sorry to bother you, but you got real quiet. I don't know if
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. It was just muffled. It was real quiet, muffled.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does this sound better?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. So yeah, the type is completely optional. You don't have to set it. It's just whether or not you prefer to organize people that way. The next section, interests, is also important. So if you tap on add interest, you get these options. So again, I said before that the default that we assume people are interested in is the business, and therefore the app is going to suggest you share the opportunity video with them. However, if somebody was not interested in the business and instead they were interested in the physique line, for example, you can add that as an interest. And then the card that you get in your deck telling you to share information with them is going to suggest that you share the physique product video. You can add multiple interests if you'd like. And in that case, you're going to get multiple cards suggesting you share multiple different videos with someone. So for now, we'll say that Clint is interested in physique. The last two sections, address and notes, again, are strictly optional. It's just depending on how organized you like to be as a user. So once we have that information filled out, you go back up to the top and the button on the upper right that says add, go ahead and tap that. Now, what appears now are a couple of questions. We just recently added this functionality to the app about a month ago. And the reason is it has to do with privacy and anti-spam laws. Originally, these laws came out of the European Union under the acronym GDPR, if anybody's heard of that. This app is global, so we're launching it in all of our markets. So we had to make these changes to be compliant with the European markets, as well as Australia has very similar laws, and Canada. And our legal team here at corporate is quite certain that these laws will be coming to the US within the next year. So we figured while we were making these changes, it was prudent to just make them for all markets, get people used to using them. It's not very much of a hassle, but in reality, it's a good step, because this app is not intended to be used as a method to cold call people. You shouldn't be reaching out to them for the first time from the app. It's a tool to help you follow up with people and more easily share information and enrollment links and shopping carts with them, but it's not a way to just reach out to somebody out of the blue and introduce yourself. So these steps are actually modeled after the Canadian anti-spam and privacy laws. And what those laws state is that you can communicate with somebody via an app like this if you know them personally, and if you know them personally, you communicate with them no problem at all. If you don't know them personally, you must be referred by a third party who knows both of you, and you have to include the first and last name of that third party in the first message to the person. So let me show you how that looks in the app. First of all, when you tap add a contact, you're taken to this screen where it asks, do you know Clint personally? If you select yes and tap save in the upper right, you'll just move forward and you'll be able to communicate no problem with them. If you say no, you'll be prompted to these two questions will appear. This question will appear and it will say, who introduced the two of you? So in that case, you have to enter in the first and last name of the person who referred you. So I'm just going to write a fake name in here, and then you tap save. And that's it. Then you can go on and communicate with Clint no problem. That the name of the third party person who referred you is stored under Clint's contact. And I'll show you how it's used in a moment here. So now you're taken to this screen after adding him. It says, okay, you've added 1 out of 4 health conscious contacts. Let's add more. I'm not going to go through that process right now. Let's instead move forward in the deck, and I will show you now where that new card appears after I've added Clint. There we go. So this is the card that appears. It says it's time to share a video with Clint. You see the red dot in the upper left of the card lets me know that it's new. Now, another thing about cards is you see below the button that says snooze and continue. It says November 14th, and then there's a bit of text. That's what we refer to as the third rail. Now, when you're in a card, that third rail tells you what the last activity you did with that contact. So this is saying on November 15th, I added Clint and he had an interest in physique. So this card is asking me to share a video with him. So I'll say, sure, I'll tap continue. Up pops this message. Now, a couple of things to note here. You see on the top where it says, hello, Clint, this is Ryan, our mutual friend Bill gave me your name. That is in gray to show you that you can't edit that part. Because remember what I said about the law being, if I don't know Bill, or if I don't know Clint, I have to include the first and last name of the person who referred us in the first message. So that's automatically added. It's in gray to tell you that you can't edit it. That has to, by law, go out in the first message, but only the first message. Then below that, we have each message that the app asks you to send, whether you're sharing an enrollment link or an Axio video or the animated video. When you go to send them, you're brought here to the message composer, and we've pre-written a message for you to use. Now, you can use it just as it is, or you can edit it however you like. Okay, if you tap on the white bar below that, next to the green send button, the keyboard will disappear and you'll see the video that you are sharing with them. You can also tap watch video if you want to watch it yourself. But I'm going to go ahead and send this now to Clint. Okay, now the card is saying your shared video is on the way. And I'll go ahead and select continue and move on to the next card. Now, Clint, can you let me know once you receive that message, please?
Yeah, Ryan, I just got it.
Okay, would you mind reading it real quickly to everyone?
Yeah. It says, hello, Clint Gunter. This is Ryan Baltz. Our mutual friend Bill gave me your name. A lot of biohackers are looking to manage, let me get into messages, manage their weight the smart way. Our researchers have built a product line that helps you do just that. A lot of people are getting really great results. Have a look. And then there's a link for a video. Thank you. And then it says, by the way, it's me, Ryan Baltz. This is a text-only number for my business. Add it to my contacts so you know it's me.
Perfect. Okay, so that last part that Clint just read is in there because let me explain what we call long code numbers. So if any of you has used the app so far to message people, you've noticed that text messages from the app don't come from your actual phone number. And the reason that is because it's a technical limitation. It's actually impossible for an app to use your phone, your cellular account to send text messages. It has to do with incurring data charges. So the way that we've worked around this is when you start using the app, when you first log in, you'll be assigned automatically what we call a long code number. It's a 10-digit number that looks like a phone number, but it's obviously not your normal phone number. And that's the number that it will use to send messages with people. So if you start communicating with somebody from the app, it's always going to use the same number of yours as the long code number. So what we've done is in the very first message, again, and only in the first message you send to somebody, we automatically insert that text that Clint just read, which says, by the way, my name is, by the way, this is me, Ryan. I use this number for text, this text-only number for business. Please save it under my contacts so you know it's me going forward. And if that person saves that number under your contact on their device, then any messages you send to them will show up with your name on them. So we've added in, it kind of, that text works almost like an email signature. You can't see it when you're writing the message, but the recipient sees it. And again, it's only in the first message. So that's what we've done to help, get around any confusion people might have. It's also good practice to let people know ahead of time. So if you've been communicating with somebody via your mobile number and you're going to switch to the app, let them know and say, look, I'm going to start using an app provided by Lifevantage to communicate with you. It helps me follow up with people and share things more easily. So just be aware, it'll come from a different phone number than you're used to for me. But once you get it, rest assured it is me, it's not spam. Go ahead and add that phone number under my contact, and you won't be confused any longer. So that's long code messages. So let's, and that's also, adding a contact. So we've just handled that. That's one of the most important things in the app. Let's go to the next section here, which is messages. So down at the bottom where you see deck, messages is just to the left of it. This is a very straightforward section of the app. Messages works very similar to the way messages work on your mobile device, whether it's an Apple device or Android. So here on the main screen, you'll see the list of messages. They're in order of newest at the top. And each one of them will have a timestamp next to it. So it'll say when the last message was received or sent. If there's a little blue dot to the left of the gray circle that has Clint's initials in them, that will tell you that you have a new message that you haven't seen yet in that conversation. If you want to create a new message, in the upper right where there's the square with the little pencil, you go ahead and select that. Up pops this screen. You search for the contact. I'm going to select Clint. And then when you want to type your message, you select the box below that says say something, and you can write whatever you want. If you want to attach something to a message to somebody, like attach something like a video or an enrollment link or a shopping cart, just go ahead and tap the blue circle with the plus sign in it and select whichever option you want. So I'm not going to actually send Clint a message because I already have. I don't want to clog his inbox up. But if you go back to the messages screen and you select a given message, this works just like your mobile phone, your text message interface does. Messages from you will be on the right in a blue square. Responses will be on the left in white. This uses what we call a threaded messaging display. So your entire conversation will be listed in this one screen. If it's long, of course, you'll have to scroll up or down, but each outgoing or ingoing message has the time up above it and the dates. So it's real easy to look back on your entire conversation history with someone. So that's messages. One more thing I actually forgot to show you was how to change the method of contact for somebody in a message. So let me actually get to that in a moment. Let's move forward. Let's talk about sharing enrollment links and cards. So the plus sign in the middle at the bottom is what we call the quick start button. So when you tap on that, you're given these options that allow you to do things just very quickly in the app. The other way that you can share a cart or an enrollment link is, like I explained earlier, by adding a contact and saying that their interest is in enrolling or purchasing. And in that case, you'll get cards in your deck prompting you to share carts or enrollment links with them. But if you don't want to wait for that, you just want to go straight into it, you can tap on the plus sign at any time and you can do that. So this option, add a contact at the top, we've already gone through that. Share a cart. If you select that, you're brought to this screen. This screen is what we call featured carts. So these carts we create them here at corporate. We basically put the featured carts in this section, which are the most frequently shared carts by distributors. So we throw those right in the beginning here to make them real easy to access. To create a cart, you select on which one you want. So again, these featured carts we have are Vitality Stack Activated Essentials. Let's say you want to, somebody was interested in Vitality Stack, you select that, you're brought to this screen. At the bottom on the left, you can see the retail cost and monthly. You select attach cart, you select the recipient, the person you want to send it to, and then tap next in the upper right. Then you're taken here again to the composer where it says, here's a perfect card for you. You can edit that, add to it, remove it, whatever you want. If you tap on the white square by send, the keyboard disappears and you can see what's in the cart, the retail and monthly cost of it. Here, I'll show you how to, so again, I've chosen text message as the way that I communicate with Clint, and I set that in his contact information. Now, if for some reason on this particular message, I say, you know what, Clint wants to receive cards by email. When I'm writing this message, up top where it has his initials in the gray circle, it says CG. If I tap on that, this display comes over and it says I can select mobile or email. So I can change the way that I message him in this area, and it only changes it for that message. It won't change his permanent setting. So we'll just, for one time, we'll send it by email, and then it will go back to text. So if I tap send and share this cart, this works exactly like sharing a cart from your replicated site. So I assure you that this is by far the easiest and fastest way to share a product with someone. Once they get the message from you, there will be a link in there. They'll tap on the link and they'll go straight to the checkout page where they enter their card information, hit purchase, and they're finished. So that's adding a featured cart. Now, of course, featured carts are the only carts you can share. You can create whatever you want. And the way you do that is in the upper right, you tap new, and then below products where it says add products, go ahead and tap on that, and up pops the list of all products. So let's say somebody was interested in Vitality Stack packets. Then you tap add in the upper right. They were interested in the Protandim Nerf 2 Synergizer, for example. Tap that, and in the upper right, select add. Once you've added your products, you tap the arrow in the upper left. That takes you back here, and it shows you everything that's in your cart. You can also, let's say you wanted also ProBio, you select that. Down at the bottom, you can change the quantity. So let's say they were interested in 2 or 3 or however many bottles of ProBio. Then you select add that. You go back to your cart, and it has all the products that you've added in there. Also, you'll notice next to ProBio, there's a little circle, blue circle with a 3 in it, and that's because we added 3 of those. A very handy feature here when you're creating carts is if you find yourself frequently sharing the same cart, maybe you're comfortable selling certain things, or you deal a lot with a certain type of customer that is interested in the same things. Go ahead and add those products to a cart, and then down under options where it says save cart for future use, tap that, and when it turns green, you've enabled that setting. Below it, you can even name the cart. So I'm going to say Clint's cart, and then you would go ahead and attach that to someone and send it to them. Now, when you go back to the main screen, you have your featured carts, as you see here by default, and you see on the top left where it says featured. Over to the right where it says saved, if you select that, up pops all of your saved carts. So there's Clint's cart right there, and they'll always be stored there for you to quickly access and share. So that is sharing carts. The bottom option there is sending enrollment link. Just like sharing carts, I promise you this is the fastest, easiest way to send an enrollment link to somebody to get them signed up. This is even easier than sharing a cart. You tap send enrollment link, up pops your list of contacts. In this case, Clint is my only contact, so I would say I'm going to share it with him. I select next, and up pops the message composer. It says, I'm excited to start working with you. Let's get started by clicking this link. Now you can edit this message up until where it says link, but you can't edit the link itself. So where it says HTTPS all the way down to equals US, that needs to come across to the recipient exactly how it's written. But you can add attachments here on the left where it says in blue. You can attach a video or whatever you want there. And then when you send this, the person receiving it will open their message. There'll be a link in there. Once they tap on that, they'll go straight to the enrollment form. A really handy way or handy use for sending it from the app is that all of the contact information you have stored for that person in the app will carry over into that enrollment form. So In this case, where I had an email and a phone number and a first and a last name for. If I share this link with him and he then taps on it, he'll go straight to the enrollment form, and his phone number, his email address, and his name will already be filled out for him. All he'll need to do is select the enrollment pack he wants, enter in his card information, agree to the terms, and he's on his way. So that is sharing enrollment links and cards. So the next section over to the right is people. Let's go there for a minute. If you tap on people, you first see up top on the left where it says all. This is where all of your contacts in the app, where you can access them. So again, I'm just using a test account here for this demo. The only person I've added is Clint. But here under customers, all of your customers are automatically added into the app for you. So there are a few people, a few users who are experiencing not all of their customers are being added. That's a known issue that we're working on right now. The engineers will have a fix for that in place shortly. But all of your customers are automatically added into the app for you the first time you log in, as well as distributors. So by distributors, I mean your organization being your sponsor, anybody you personally sponsor, and anybody you've personally enrolled. So those contacts are automatically added for you. I'm using a test account, so I don't have any distributors or customers. But the way that contacts work are, if you select the contact, you're taken to this screen. These tabs on the left where it says orders, or these tabs up top where it says orders, activity, and info. If you select orders, it will show you any orders that Clint has placed through the app. If you select activity, it shows you all of the activity you've done in the app with Clint. So you can see today I created an enrollment link, I sent him a message, I shared a cart, all the way through, since the beginning of time, all the way down to the bottom that says when I added him as a contact. Each one shows the time it was done. So this is a really useful way for you to look back on the history of what you've done with a contact, so it's fresh of mind when you communicate with them. So that's someone. That's a person's contact. If you go back to the main screen in contact, again you see network. At the bottom you see me. If you tap on me, that's your card. Now again, I'm using a test account here, so I don't have any data. But yours will look different if you do have personal volume and organizational volume. So here on your card, on your volume, it shows personal volume. If you swipe to the left, it shows organizational volume. Now, both of these displays, if you do have volume, they'll look like this. There'll be two bars. The bar on the left is the previous month, and the bar on the right is the current month. The number on the top on the left is the actual volume for the previous month. The two numbers at the bottom, which aren't displaying correctly on mine, those show the current volume. So on the right, in November, that number will show the volume today. On the left in October, that number shows the volume of the same day in the previous month. So it's a good way to compare. You'll also see a number up on the right in organizational volume, which shows projected. Below that, if you scroll down, you'll see legs. So these are your top 4 legs and the distribution percentages. Again, yours will look different than mine because I don't have any actual data. If you select orders, up pops any orders that you've made. The next option, if you select activity within your own card, it shows you all of the activity you've done with all contacts. So that's a great way for you to be able to see everything you've done in the app. That's people. The next section that we'll look at is media. all the way to the right on the bottom, if you select media, this is where all of the corporate, the curated content from corporate and the compliant content is stored. So these are all the videos that we make at corporate. We can also store audio files like the Pro Audio episodes, Master Tracks episodes. We can store documents in here and images. So this is really, there's a wealth of stuff in here. It's put into different categories like training, presenting, new, favorites. There's all the product categories and business and science. So I'm not going to go through all of these categories in this demo, but I'll go through a couple just to show you how it works. So let's, for example, go into training. Training, the first couple of items in here now are these are the PowerPoint presentations that were provided, have recently been provided by the FAB. So there's a short version and a long version for you to use in training and in presenting. And then you get into the Master Tracks or Pro Audio episodes. They're all stored in here, so there's a lot of them. I'll scroll through them. Then you get into these short videos. So setting the interest level, for example, it's 2 minutes and 31 seconds long, or how did I get this customer? It's 1 minute and 14 seconds long. These are the actual videos that will play when you tap on those helper text links I mentioned in the beginning of this demo, where you see the blue text and you tap on it to learn what's a little bit more about what's going on at that point in the app. If you just wanted to ever come into this training section and watch all those videos, they're all right here. Also are the training videos that appear in the first hand of cards, like how to present products or icebreakers. Those are all in the training section as well. If I go back out, let's have a look at the True Science section, for example. If you go into True Science, you can see this first item is the hair care study. That's a document. The product videos are there, the launch videos, the product information sheet, FAQ documents, as well as the True Science beauty system videos. All of those are right there. So I'll show you a couple of things about how pieces of media, or what we call media assets, work. So if you were interested in a particular piece of media here, so let's say the hair care launch video, you tap on it and then you're brought to this screen. If you tap on the image one more time, the video will play. Up in the upper right, you see a couple of options there. The star, if you select the star in the upper right, that's kind of off, that's on when it's filled in white. That's how you mark it as a favorite. So if you had a video that you liked in particular and you wanted to be able to save it to watch it often, or if you found a particular video was very useful to share with people, you'd mark those as a favorite here, make the star white, and then when you go back out into this main section, you see this category that says favorites. If you go there, anything you've marked as a favorite will be in that section. So this is kind of, think of it as your own little personal area within the media library. Anything you mark as a favorite will be stored there for you to access quickly. The last thing on piece of media, again, we'll use the launch video. You go here to this page and you tap the square with the arrow coming out of it in the upper right. That's how you can share it. You get two options here. Now, this isn't the only way you can share videos. This is actually the third way that you can do it in this app. The other two ways I've already shown, which the first one would be sharing videos from the cards in the deck. The second one would be attaching videos when you're writing a message by tapping the blue circle with the plus sign in it. This is a third way. This is, perhaps the easiest way. Go to the media library, find the video you want to share, tap the square with the arrow, and then these two messages appear. The first one, message, if I select that, it's going to share the video with the contact via message. And what I mean by message is whatever form of contact I've selected for that person. So in the case of Clint, again, it would send it by text message. If I had marked him as an email person, it would send it via email. The second option is social sharing. If you select that option, right now social sharing is limited to, it will post the video to the profile of the account that you are currently logged into via the Facebook app on your phone. We will be in the coming months adding a lot more a lot more integration with social media in terms of sharing. But for now, you can post it to your Facebook page. And ladies and gentlemen, that in a nutshell is the Lifevantage app. So at this point, are there any questions? Hello, you there? Clint, can you hear me?
I have a question.
Sure.
You said that it can be like your text. Is there a way to do it like to Messenger on Facebook?
We are actually working on adding Facebook Messenger as a channel.
Okay.
Good to have that added within the next few months.
Okay.
Great
Thank you.
question.
Awesome. Hey, Ryan, I want to start using the app really well, but I've got a lot of old stuff on there. Is there a way to get rid of it? I've tried to go through the cards and just delete them. Like I got some messages for, accounts that had bought things, a couple months ago, and it just won't seem to get rid of them.
Have you gone and snoozed those cards and say, I've already done this, or I don't want to do this?
No, I just went through them and tried to just flip the cards through, but it just came back. So I need to go in there and hit snooze.
And then select, I've already done this, or I don't want to do this, and then those cards will disappear.
Okay.
The other thing that I'll mention here is, I'm not sure the last time you updated the app, but we release new versions of the app every 2 weeks. So it's a good idea to always go to the App Store or Google Play Store and make sure that you've updated to the most recent version.
Okay.
So a few weeks ago, we released a version that wasn't compatible with previous ones. It caused a bit of an issue, and the way that you get around that is by deleting the app entirely from your phone and then going to the App Store and reinstalling it. So you may want to try that as well. And don't worry, you won't lose any of your information in the app. But if snoozing the cards doesn't work, then try that and see if that sorts it out. If not, and also anybody on this call, if you have specific technical issues, excuse me, if you have technical issues with the app, go ahead and email appsupport@lifevantage.com. Those messages go straight to me and the engineering team, and we'll work with you one-on-one to fix any issue.
Okay. Cool. Very cool. Well, that was very, very helpful, and I appreciate you doing this with our team.
You bet.
Yeah, I got it recorded now, so it's a good thing. So the ones that couldn't make it, we'll play it for them. So.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say that look, this is brand new, custom built software from the ground up, and we did that because there were no solutions out there that did what we wanted them to do. So we had to create our own. I realized that everything in this app is new. There's nothing like it out there. So with that comes a bit of a learning curve. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to learn the app. I assure you, It is the most powerful tool out there today. Once you become familiar with it, don't be afraid of it. Once you start being able to use it, you'll see that it's very powerful and helpful. So I represent a large team of dedicated pros who we love what we do, and we work every day to try to make it easier and more useful. So stick with it. And again, thank you for your time and for trying things out.
All right. Thank you so much, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a great night.
All right. You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it for jumping on, and I'll put the recording in our team thread, and so we can watch it again or whenever. Okay.
Okay.
So it does take a little bit of learning, but I think they say it's at the global, they've seen a rise in customers and distributors using the app, the technology. So they just know that so many more people are using apps for their phones than they were several years ago, and so they believe that this will definitely help you as a distributor get more people, more customers. Once you figure it out, just a little practice, and he said, don't be afraid of it. Just do it. If there's a problem, we'll fix it. So
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, who's that over there? Who's that behind you, Kathy?
That's Cyrus. That's my grandson.
Oh, hey, how you doing, buddy?
Hi.
Oh, that's very cool.
What was going on?
Huh?
He just wanted to see what was going on.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's almost your bedtime, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Mommy will be calling pretty soon, and we'll go pick her up and take everybody home. So
Okay. Well, good.
that's what we do.
Yep, I hear you.
Okay. Well, thank you. That was informative. It's a little, a lot to take in, but I think once I start using it, it'll be good.
Yeah, he said just think of it as once you put your contacts, think of it as a deck of cards. And so
Right.
each card, you have an option to do. It'll be, hey, it looks like you set this, or you added this person's interest as a customer. Let's send them this video.
Right.
Get pique their interest up a little bit more, and a little welcome message or a little hi message, And
This is what you use all the time, is it?
No. That's why I put this on here, because I really wanted to know how to use this.
Okay.
Because, and here's another reason. The reason that sparked my interest was because we have a lot of customers, Becky and I, but we don't really know who's still on product unless we go down individually and look through the whole thing.
Okay.
Hi, Michelle.
I got back on again. I had to jump off and jump back in again.
Yeah. So this way, they're gonna have a list of all the people that were on order, but now are not. So either something went wrong with the card, or now you can know which people you can reach out to and say, hey, did you have a problem with your card, or did you not, decide you didn't want to do it anymore, or just gives you a little bit of a, because we.
So it looks like you can set their card up for them and send it to them. Like for a new customer, you set it up for them. You can send it to them, and then all they got to do is finish it up, right?
Yeah. So for a card, yeah. So if they want to become or just a customer, you could just choose the product that they decided they wanted to have.
Right.
And you can click it on their name and send it to them, and a little message go, hey, here you go, Judy. Here's what you decide you want to get. Here's a cart. All you do is click on it and add your credit card, and
right. Then it's in their court. They can put their card information in, and it's more comfortable for them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And same thing with a distributor. If he wants to join, you can send them the cart with the distributor information, and all you do is pick a pack and put their information in, and done. So it will make life easier once we get to know it.
Yeah, and that's it. You just got to use it to figure it out. So I get that. Okay.
So here's the key thing that what I like. He said they're going to make it where it's going to connect to Messenger.
Right. And that's what we use mostly.
Right. And that's what kind of in the beginning I kind of was like bummed, because why can't they come out with an app that we can connect to the thing that we use the most now, which is Messenger? So I was kind of bummed, but then I found out, no, they're building this every day more and more.
Yeah.
Messenger,
Right.
probably Instagram eventually. So all the things that we're looking forward to. So that way when we come across somebody, hey, I was curious, Kathy, what are you doing? Hey, let me send you a little message and the link on Messenger, and
Mhm.
you send them that video. Now he's stored in your app, so now you can go, well, I know she watched that video. There's another card pops up, say, let's send her something else. And so kind of auto helps you out, auto enroll.
Right. Automatically helps you get to the next step, for that person. Okay. Okay.
So,
Okay.
it's not the tool. It's an extra tool to have.
Yeah.
You're still going to make one-on-one conversations with people in this
Oh,
network.
yeah.
But this could really organize, since I'm horrible about organizing, this can really organize all your
Mhm.
customers, all your distributors,
Right.
know where they're at, and so
Awesome.
be good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I appreciate you jumping on. We'll see you later, buddy.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. I'll wait for Michelle to get back on because I know she did.
Oh, okay.
So.
I gotta figure out how to get off of here. I forget.
Just touch on, should say leave
Oh,
or.
there. Well, I had something that was in the way. There we go. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Bye-bye. Oh. You're in the dark, baby. Oh. Hey, baby.